Welcome back, everyone, to a night when the veil between worlds is at its thinnest, a mystical moment sparked by the autumn equinox, where day and night stand in perfect balance to us, bringing us closer to spirit. Me and Laura is going to bring you into my favorite holiday of Halloween, an intoxicating blend of ancient magic, chilling history, and pure spine-tingling delight. Tonight we plunge into the twisted tales of Halloween's past, to pranks, and uncovering why this haunted night captures my soul. So grab some candy, dim the lights, and let's unravel this eerie origins and the shocking truth that make October 31st the most bewitching night of the year. Famous Halloween hoaxes. You know, when spooks turn to scams, Halloween's eerie allure has long inspired not just costumes and candy, but elaborate deceptions that prey on our love for the macabre, From urban legends about tainted treats to media-fueled panics, these hoaxes have shaped holidays' darker folklore. Here are some of the most notorious ones, blending mischief, misinformation, and outright fabrication. Let's get into the story of the razor blades and apple scare from 1970. One of the most enduring Halloween myths exploded in 1970 when a 10-year-old boy in Deer Park, New York, claimed to find a sewing needle embedded in an apple he'd received while trick-or-treating. That must be terrifying. I know I would be. Newspapers across the United States sensationalized the story, warning parents of sadistic strangers hiding razor blades, pins, and poison in the candy. The panic led to widespread candy inspections and even bans on trick-or-treating in some areas. But investigations revealed that it was all just a hoax. The boy's mother had inserted the needle herself to drum up attention. Despite this, the legend persisted, with similar false claims popping up annually. Studies later showed 0 confirmed cases of strangers that had tampered with candy harming any children. That's a classic example of how one fabricated fright can haunt generations, and I know it certainly haunted mine. The Black Halloween vandalism wave in 1933 was another one. Amid the Great Depression's despair, Halloween of 1933 devolved into nationwide chaos. It was dubbed Black Halloween by the press. Reports flooded in of costumed teens overturning cars, torching barns, derailing streetcars, and smashing windows in cities like Detroit and Chicago, and causing millions of dollars in damage. Parents and officials decried it as organized anarchy, with some tales exaggerating it as communist plots or teen rebellion gone wrong or apocalyptic. President Roosevelt even addressed the nation, urging restraint. In truth, much of the wave was sensationalized by newspapers' hungry need for headlines, amplifying isolated pranks into fabricated national crisis. Communities responded by inventing supervised haunted houses and parties to curb the mischief. And that turned the hoax-fueled fear into modern traditions today that we see with all of these haunted attractions. Now, the $20 bill expiration hoax in 1998 is another one that made me kind of ponder over. In a radio stunt that blended Halloween hijinks with financial terror, Nashville station WRVW announced on October 30th, 1998 that all $20 bills would expire at midnight to introduce new currency, and that prompted listeners to flood banks in a frenzy to exchange their cash. The hoax, framed as a spooky end-of-days economic collapse, caused gridlock and near riots as people dumped worthless bills into shredders or they buried them into their backyards. But it was all pure fiction cooked up by these DJs for ratings. But It exposed how easily fear-mongering can really manipulate crowds. Similar radio pranks like Orson Welles' 1938 War of the Worlds broadcast just days before Halloween have kept the tradition of media hoaxes alive, and that proves that the scariest monsters are often the ones in our broadcasts. Another tale is of the black cat sacrifices myth. That's an ongoing urban legend. Every Halloween, warnings often circulate about Satanists kidnapping black cats for rituals, leading to shelters to halt adoptions around October 31st. This tale dates back to medieval Europe, yes, it goes back that far, where the church tied cats, especially black ones, to witchcraft and the devil, fueling mass killings during the witch hunts. Modern versions exploded in the 1980s amid satanic panic, with hoaxed stories of mutilated pets shared in chain emails and social media. Investigations, including by the ASPCA, have found no evidence of any increased cat harm on Halloween. Most sacrifices are roadkill or misattributed or outright fabricated. Yet the hoax continues, blending superstition with animal rights fears and has inadvertently boosted black cat adoptions post-holiday as people seek to save them. The fake teen trick-or-treat laws prank in 2019 is a rather newer one. In a viral social media gag that swept Denver in 2019, hoaxers posted phony city ordinances claiming anyone over 12 caught trick-or-treating faced up to 6 months in jail. This was shared on Facebook and Twitter as official warnings, and it sparked outrage among parents and memes from millennials reminiscing about their candy hauling days too. The fake bylaws even included fines for excessive haunting noises, and it was all a troll by anonymous posters capitalizing on Halloween's rule-bending spirit. But it highlighted a lot about how digital hoaxes can mimic real legislation. Similar pranks have appeared nationwide, and it shows us that the age of shares and likes, the line between jokes and hysteria, often blurs faster than a ghost in fog. These hoaxes really show us that Halloween's real magic is in the storytelling, whether true terror or clever cons. They add a thrill. They've also led to safety innovations like X-rays for candy, now debunked as unnecessary. But if you're carving pumpkins this year, just double check your sources before sharing that next viral scare, okay? So just before we get into the rest of tonight's information, I gotta tell you, when I was a little girl, I used to go around trick-or-treating. It's my favorite time of year, and we'll go into that further too. And everybody would tell us to check our candy. Our parents would not allow us to touch the candy until it was all checked, and they had to check it thoroughly because they truly believed in there being razor blades or medications or needles in the candy, and that traveled down all that far from the very first spark of that rumor down even into the 1990s when I was a child. I still check my children's candy though. I hope you do too. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
The belief that the spiritual veil, the mystical barrier separating the physical world from the realm of spirits, ancestors, and other worldly energies is at its thinnest during the autumn equinox stems from a profound interplay of astronomical phenomena, cultural traditions, and esoteric interpretations. This time of year, marked by the equinox's equal balance of day and night, holds a unique place in human consciousness, amplified by both scientific and spiritual perspectives. We explore why this balance fosters a thinning of the veil, how it interacts with our consciousness in a world saturated with electromagnetic waves, and why autumn, particularly around Halloween, became a season to ward off evil spirits and honor the dead. The autumn equinox, occurring around September 22nd or 23 in the Northern Hemisphere, is one of two moments each year, the other being the spring equinox, when the Earth's axial tilt aligns such that the sun is directly above the equator, resulting in nearly equal hours of daylight and darkness, approximately 12 hours each. This balance is not just a physical phenomenon, but a symbolic one, resonating deeply with ancient cultures who saw it as a moment of cosmic harmony. Spiritually, this equilibrium is believed to weaken the boundaries between the material and ethereal planes, making it easier for energies, spirits, or ancestral presences to cross over. From a scientific perspective, the equinox represents a moment of global energetic symmetry. The Earth's magnetic field, influenced by solar radiation, experiences subtle shifts during equinoxes due to the sun's position. The ionosphere, a layer of Earth's atmosphere charged by solar and cosmic rays, undergoes changes in electron density, which can affect electromagnetic wave propagation. This balance reduces interference in the subtle energies that connect the physical and spiritual realms, creating a thinner veil. While science doesn't directly confirm a spiritual veil, the equinox's unique electromagnetic conditions may amplify human sensitivity to subtle phenomena, aligning with mystical beliefs about heightened spiritual access. On a cultural level, the equinox's balance of light and dark mirrors life and death, creation and dissolution. A time when the veil was thinnest, allowing ancestors and spirits to commune with the living. This belief wasn't arbitrary. The equal day and night symbolized a liminal space, a threshold where opposites meet, weakening the barriers that separate worlds. Human consciousness is often described as heavy in modern times, weighed down by the constant bombardment of electromagnetic radiation from infrared, ultraviolet, Wi-Fi, microwaves, and radio waves. These energies, omnipresent in our tech-driven world, interact with our biology in ways we're only beginning to understand. Infrared and ultraviolet rays from the sun, while natural, combine with artificial sources like Wi-Fi and radio waves, creating a dense electromagnetic soup. Studies suggest prolonged exposure to these frequencies can disrupt brainwave patterns, particularly in the alpha 812 Hz and theta 48 Hz ranges, which are associated with relaxation, intuition, and meditative states, key to spiritual awareness. The brain operates as a bioelectric system with neurons firing at frequencies that can be disrupted by external electromagnetic fields, EMFs. For example, research indicates that high levels of Wi-Fi and microwave radiation may increase oxidative stress in cells, potentially dulling cognitive and intuitive faculties. This heaviness in consciousness, marked by stress, distraction, or mental fog, can feel like a barrier to accessing deeper spiritual states, akin to a thickened veil. During the autumn equinox, however, the balanced light and dark, coupled with subtle shifts in Earth's electromagnetic environment, may create a window of relief. The ionosphere's stability during equinoxes reduces some of the erratic fluctuations in EMFs, potentially allowing the brain's natural rhythms to align more closely with theta and delta states, which are linked to heightened intuition and spiritual connection. This alignment could explain why mystics and shamans across cultures report feeling closer to the spirit world during this time. The thinning veil, then, lightening the electromagnetic load on our consciousness and opening pathways to the subconscious where spiritual experiences often reside. The choice of autumn, particularly around the equinox and culminating in festivals to ward off evil spirits and honor the dead, is deeply rooted in both environmental and cultural factors. Autumn marks a transition. Crops wither, leaves fall, and the earth prepares for winter's dormancy. This visible descent into death mirrored the human cycle, prompting ancient societies to reflect on mortality and the afterlife. The thinning veil, believed to allow both benevolent ancestors and malevolent spirits to cross over, necessitated rituals to protect the living and honor the departed. In ancient Celtic tradition, Samhain was a time to appease spirits with offerings, food, drink, or bonfires to ensure safe passage through the dark darkening season. The fear of evil spirits wasn't just superstition. It reflected the uncertainty of winter's hardships, when food shortages and cold could feel like malevolent forces. Costumes, originally animal hides or disguises, were worn to confuse or repel harmful entities, a practice echoed in modern Halloween's masks and outfits. Similarly, the Roman festival of Lemuria and other global traditions used rituals like lighting fires or ringing bells to banish restless spirits, tying autumn's liminality to spiritual vigilance. Honoring the dead during this season also stems from the equinox's balance, symbolizing a moment when the living and dead could connect. In many cultures, from Mexico's Dia de los Muertos to Japan's Obon, autumn festivals involve offerings to ancestors, reflecting a belief that their spirits are more accessible. The equinoxes, equal day and night, served as a cosmic reminder of life's duality, making it a natural time to pay respects and seek guidance from those who've passed, reinforcing communal bonds across generations. The autumn equinox's perfect balance of day and night creates a unique cosmic and electromagnetic moment, thinning the spiritual veil by aligning Earth's energies and human consciousness with the subtle realms of spirit. This thinning, amplified by a slight reprieve from the electromagnetic noise of modern life, opens our subconscious to deeper connections, explaining why cultures worldwide have long sensed a closeness to the spirit world in autumn. The season's association with warding off evil spirits and honoring the dead grew from its liminal nature, a time when the visible decay of nature and the equinox's equilibrium blurred the lines between life and death, inviting both reverence and caution. Halloween, rooted in these ancient beliefs, remains a powerful reminder of our ties to the unseen, making it a holiday where science, spirit, and tradition dance in the flickering light of a jack-o'-lantern.
I love this time of year, late fall around October, especially from a psychological standpoint. It's my absolute favorite. It's when the spiritual veil feels perfectly thin, like the barriers between our inner worlds dissolve just a bit. And that openness invites others to connect with each other, to connect with spirit and even mind, sharing ideas and energies in ways that really feel united. They truly feel alive and together. Growing up, the rest of the year was just surface level. Those deeper mystical conversations weren't acknowledged at all. But this season, it was always my secret favorite. It was something I always looked forward to with a true, deep anticipation. Back then, growing up, I sensed there was so much untapped knowledge that people could really uncover about fall's true essence, but it's often been overshadowed by commercialization. Holidays turned into shiny commodities like pumpkin spice and everything, and the endless sales, rather than being honored for the true historical depth or profound meanings. Sure, there's the scientific side to it all, like I've explained, intertwined with what some might call conspiratorial curiosities about ancient rituals, but that's the part of the magic for me. It's what draws me in most, and how it marks the end of the year when the harvest season arrives, spring bursts with new flowers and possibilities. By fall, everything has blossomed into its full glory, ready to be gathered and savored. And it really mirrors us as a people in so many spiritual ways. We are reborn each year, growing into fresh chapters of life. Then after the work is done, we pause to reflect on our accomplishments. Then we rest deeply and we truly enjoy the fruits of our efforts. It's a global mirror too, reminding me on how wildly the world just shifts in just a few months, turning chaos into meaning that changes everything. There is such a powerful spiritual time in all of this, and I wish that more people would approach it with open minds, looking into one another's beliefs without walls. I cherish blending my celebrations from Judaism, Hinduism, Sikhism, and beyond, Diwali's lamps, and the enduring light, community, togetherness, and feasts that feed the soul. At its core, it's all about the triumph of light over darkness, a beauty we desperately need more of in today's world. That's the real gift of this season. Hope, reflection, and unbreakable connection. I hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to be going into Beyond the Veil a bit more and talking about some of the most beautiful experiences I've had with spirit after this holiday. I just wanted to kind of enjoy spooky season with you. I hope you'll stay tuned for those new episodes. In them, I will talk about all of the beautiful things that I've seen beyond the veil as a little girl. Not now, because I've been, so more awakened and expanded in my knowledge and experiences that I've shared a lot of that with everyone already in my blogs like www.laurasangels.com, as well as starseedchildren.blogspot.com, and so much more. So I hope you'll look up my blogs and stay in tuned to the new chapters to come. You're all so very beautiful, and stay blessed, and happy Halloween. Trick or treat.